Hello YouTube and welcome back to another episode of Invisible Head Investing. I'm the Invisible Head Investor and today we're talking about Lordstown Motors and another massive pre-order that they just received. So before we get started, hey guys, if you want to get some free stock, click on the link below and create a new account with Webull. You get 2 free stocks worth between $2.50 up to $250 just for creating an account. Now, if you deposit $100, you get an additional 2 stocks worth between $8 and $1,600. That's a pretty good return on your investment. Thanks for supporting the channel. Now let's get back to it. Okay, welcome back, and now we're going to talk about Lordstown Motors and another significant order that they received from Mike Albert Fleet Solutions. Okay, this comes from the businessjournaldaily.com. It says here that Lordstown Motors has secured an order for a significant quantity of endurance trucks from Mike Albert Fleet Solutions. Okay, so let's take a look at Mike Albert Fleet Solutions and see who they are and what they do. Mike Albert Fleet Solutions is a top 10 fleet management company in the United States located in Cincinnati, Ohio. They are the nation's #1 privately held closed-end lessor. Okay, so basically they are a fleet management company. They lease vehicles to customers and they handle all the maintenance for these vehicles to make sure that the vehicles are functioning and operating the way they should be. If we look here, we can see that they have massive reach in a variety of different sectors, which include service contractors, pest control, delivery, construction, food and beverage, mobility, grounds management, telecom, and government and municipalities. So these guys have been around for a long time. If we look back at a little bit of their history, Mike Albert went from a used car dealership in 1928 to fleet leasing in 1957. Today, Mike Albert operates Mike Albert Sales and Service, as well as Mike Albert Fleet Solutions. So we can see here that this company is involved in sales, as well as leasing and fleet management solutions. It's like a marriage made in heaven, having these two companies between Lordstown Motors, which focuses on providing their endurance trucks to fleets, and to link up with a company like this that deals with fleets, that sells their vehicles, that leases them, and that maintains their vehicles. So this is very good news for Lordstown Motors, and I think it's just another stepping stone in their future growth as they form these business relationships with these companies. We are very excited about forming this new working relationship with EV manufacturer Lordstown Motors. Like us, they firmly believe EVs are the very near and bright future for a growing number of commercial fleets, said Mike Albert Fleet Solutions President Jeff Hart. Lordstown Motors has the perfect prototype to prove it, he continued. Its initiated all-electric vehicle drive system with 4 hub motors and integrated software really caught our attention and set the Endurance apart from other EV pickups we've seen. Now this is massive news because you would think that these guys deal with a lot of different fleets out there, and to say that Lordstown Motors stands out from everybody else is a good sign for Lordstown Motors and their technology and what they're creating with what they've created with the Endurance truck. To have a company like this that deals with various different kinds of fleets say that you stand out is a good indicator and a good message to put out to the public, as well as other potential fleet management companies or companies that are looking to upgrade their fleets. Okay, so as I mentioned in another video before, it was announced that Lordstown Motors had another pre-order come in of 14,000 trucks by Texas-based East Squared Energy Advisors. So we don't know how many trucks are being provided or what the pre-order numbers are for Mike Albert Fleet Solutions yet, but this sounds like it could be a significant order. So this is a good sign that Lordstown Motors is growing their numbers, growing their pre-orders, so when they start manufacturing and delivering in September, they're going to hit the ground running. Now let's take a look at Lordstown Motors' chart. Okay, right now we're looking at the 180-day chart, and we can see here that Lordstown Motors, over the past, since the end of November, has been trading in this channel between $18.50 and $23.50. We did see that Lordstown Motors started to pull up at the end of the week. Let's look at the 5-day chart. Now, as I mentioned before in one of my other videos, we know that Lordstown Motors and Workhorse tend to follow the same trends. And Workhorse recently announced a massive order of 6,400 trucks, and we saw the stock take off to around $26. Lordstown Motors started following that trend, and then yesterday, which was Friday, we saw Lordstown Motors take a dip, and I believe that that's strongly related to Workhorse pulling back. Workhorse had massive growth on Thursday. It went up over 16%, and it was due for what I believe is a healthy pullback. So I think that that's what happened on Friday. Lordstown Motors stock hit 2386, basically hit this resistance over here, and this has been a pretty strong resistance over the last couple of months. And then it pulled back all the way to its previous support level of around that 2150 before it started slowly climbing up again in pre-market. So I think on Monday when the market opens, I think we can potentially see a spike in Lordstown Motors stock. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own due diligence. But based on these pre-order numbers, I think these are two big positive catalysts that are going to fuel people getting into Lordstown Motors stock. And you're going to see the stock, I believe, in my personal opinion, over the next week or so, start to climb up again. And we really have to keep an eye on this resistance. If we look at the 20-day chart, we can see that we double topped over here at this resistance level in the last 10 or 11 days or so. And I think that we're potentially forming a cup and handle pattern here. We have the cup portion of the pattern, and then this could potentially be the handle that goes up to the resistance line that we've been experiencing over the last couple of weeks. And the key is to see if it breaks through that resistance line. If it breaks through that resistance line, then Lordstown Motors' next resistance, based on my charts, is around the $25 range. And if we see a lot of positive price action, it could potentially go to its all-time highs of $30. Do I think it'll break that $30 mark yet? I don't know. I mean, it really depends, I think, on what happens with Workhorse. If Workhorse breaks through their all-time highs of $30.50 or so, whatever it is, I think that Lordstown Motors has a shot of following that trend because the two are so closely correlated. So we'll see what happens in the near future. Okay, guys, so leave some comments down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on Lordstown Motors. Are you bullish or bearish on the stock? Do you think it has potential to go to all-time highs with all these positive catalysts coming out, all this positive news about these pre-order numbers? Okay, we don't know how many trucks Mike Albert Fleet Solutions has ordered from Lordstown Motors, but if we look at the numbers, there's a pretty good possibility that they're approaching that 100,000 pre-order mark, which is huge. And as more and more fleet companies out there hear about Lordstown Motors endurance and how they differentiate themselves from other trucks, other fleet companies could be looking more closely at Lordstown Motors and seeing what they offer. So I think the future is bright. I'm excited to see what happens to the stock over the next few months. I've been holding the stock for over 6 months now, and I have a pretty good, decent position in the stock. So I'm very bullish on it. I'm very bullish on this stock, and that's just my personal opinion. Guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll see you guys in the next video.